All right, I wanted to do a quick review on a Thx amp module for the Theo, and this will fit the Theo Mark 7 X2. Might fit the previous version as well. I'm not positive. The X7, and also the Q5 and the Q5S, which I've never used, would take it as well. So, what do you get? Well, you order this in, and there's not a lot to the instructions on it. This is not the module itself. It's already been installed on this. So this is what comes inside. You get a metal tin, you get your amp module, and you get some screws. Screws you don't necessarily, well, I reused the old ones. You need your screwdriver that came with your DAP or your amp DAC. I think it's a T5 if you lost it, but don't quote me on that. Actually, if you checked online, you could probably find the size of it if you don't have it exactly. So now what I wanted to do, so I've installed the what's it called? AM3 Great. I can't even see it on this. AM3D. Right there. One spot in the front. It's the AM3D. So, AM3D with THX 78, I think it is. And the 78 and the other numbers stand for power efficiency, I believe. Well, there's a curve, and when they move, they give up a little to gain a bit elsewhere, probably in power efficiency since we're battery powered. So this is the module, right? You've got two Torx screws, as we said, and then on the bottom, looks very similar as before, except for the 4.4, which is reinforced. And I think actually, I think they did this because this wasn't deep enough for yeah, I think there was a problem because the front part of this is where the pins are to connect it. And I think there might have been a problem with this encroaching onto that space. So with the fittings the way they've got it, it pulls it back just a hair. Anyway, looks effectively the same as the old amp module, with the exception of that. So THX. I guess my problem with THX is THX, to me, the brand, we want to talk brands, signified a sound effect. THX sound effects. This is not about sound effects, so the AAA, one of the A's, I assume it's the first one, I believe stands for achromatic. Chromatic being color, achromatic being without color. So their definition of the amp is that it is without color. It doesn't provide any coloration to the music at all. So, okay. So how do I do a comparison? Well, I'm not going to take the screws and take this on and off. So what I decided to do was, on the top of the Theo X2, you've got your output, and you've got a low line, you've got a coaxial, and you've got an optical. So we're going out analog without going through the amp, and there is a difference in the dBs. I've compared the two. So what we're doing is we're going to connect the output of that into the input of this. So now, with my comparison of the two, I can go back and forth. I can go 2.5 on the original amp, and I can go 4.4 on this. And what I'm using for headphones, only because they were here, are these Blackwoods, which are T50RP drivers, not Mark IIIs, I don't believe, but probably a version before that. And they're hooked onto a balanced cord. So this is a bit of a Frankenstein thing. So we've got a 4-pin balanced. And then we have, from the days of 2.5, gone to this. I have a 4.4 one as well, but I misplaced it, unfortunately. Or I don't have it here. So, the normal way would be to go there, 4.4. But because I don't know where my 4.4 is, I'm going to a 2.5. And then 4.4. A lot of connections. But that'll allow me to go and compare these two back and forth. And yeah. So first things first, this, I should say this amp module, because we're not using the DAC or the other features here. We're running it through the amp module. Is damn good. It's really impressive. To the point where I'm listening to it and I'm going, do I really need to upgrade from this? And then I go and I listen to this, and there's more detail. You can hear a lot more detail. It almost sounds a little warmer in the mids to me. Actually, but if it's without coloration, it shouldn't have any impact on any of the range. So I've got to say it is better than this. It's curious, if you're going out to buy something new, like maybe the M11 Pro that's coming out with the THX built into it, then okay. And if you want to upgrade, this player is basically, well, it's not exactly, but it's pretty close. The biggest difference is right now with this player, because the amp's been upgraded, I don't have a 2.5 input, which is why they did that, I don't know. Or why they didn't put it in, I don't know. Obviously, there's some room, or no, because they put it in a different amp. Anyway, so that's one thing. It would be nice to have 2.5 as well, so you don't have to carry an adapter. Although fairly quickly I'll be switching most of my cords over, but I have players with 2.5, so I'm going to have both cables around and switch back and forth. The screen on the M11 looks just absolutely fabulous. That would be a big upgrade. And anywho, I think that's probably the biggest. Battery is a little bit slightly newer DAC versions as well. Anywho, if you can find it and you want it, it is cleaner. Noticeably cleaner. No, I'm comparing this with a set of cans. But it is the THX is noticeably cleaner. To the point where I ordered and canceled an amp, a desk amp. And I think I'm still on the cancel plan. But it's because, do I really need it? It is nicer, and if you're going to go out and buy something, sure, buy it. But as an upgrade, and how much you're going to pay for that, and how much more, because these are not slouches that are being that you're comparing it to. You know, these are amazing, amazing. So anyway, I mean, that's my take on it. It is better. Is it worth the money? Well, I guess that's up to you. Joke to install them, 2 screws and pop them in. And there you go. You've now upgraded your X7 to very close to the M11 Pro. Yeah, not just the M11, the M11 Pro. You're only lagging in a couple of the features. The biggest for me would be the screen, actually. Anyway, that's all. If you liked it, hit like and please subscribe. Thank you.